This week on The Real Housewives of Orange County.
Don't bring my kids into it. Do you understand that?
I understand, Emily.
Then
it was
why did
somebody
you do
calling
it?
somebody mean and you bringing up my legal battles with custody. That's not equal.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to We're going to be talking about The Real Housewives of Orange County, the premiere episode of season 19. Let's get right into this. Okay, you guys, so one of my favorite housewife cities is back. Believe it or not, Orange County is actually pretty up there when it comes to my favorite housewives shows. I truly enjoy the OC, the OGs, but this is definitely going to be a season where it's going to be a lot. But anyway, we begin with this foreshadowing intro of the ladies taking a polygraph test, and as they're doing it, it shows these dramatic scenes that are to come later this season. Then we begin the season with a lot of clips of the women, with some feel-good scenes of the women with their families, their husbands, yada, yada, yada. So then Shannon picks up Katie. Katie just got back from Arizona. Her husband hosts these big golf events. Shannon says that she has a new manifestation for 2025, and men are not on the list. Good, Shannon. You don't need no man because you're a mess. So she did settle the lawsuit with John Jensen for $60,000, but at least she has no more ties with him, and that chapter is completely closed. So in the OC, there's this place called the Golden Door, or I'm not sure if it's in the OC, maybe it's near another city, but there's this place called the Golden Door. It's a beautiful place where they're actually letting Shannon do a little event session with the girls, so she's excited about that. But they actually then go to a BMW dealership. Katie's looking for a new car because she's rich, so why not buy a new car? Shannon then, they're talking about stuff, but then they get to the elephant in the room. So Shannon says, I was with Emily the other day, and there are just some things that you just can't go there. So when her kids were brought up by your daughter, Katie's like, yeah, that whole thing with Kylie was not that big of a deal, but it was turned into one. Shannon says, I think she's really upset because of the nanny. So what happened was, after the reunion aired, one of Emily's former nannies reached out to Katie and pretty much said, hey, I worked with Emily and I know she's lying. I know those little kids for sure know who Heather is, for sure. Katie said, I don't want to get too involved into this, but here's the podcast that my daughter just went on. That was it. And, I'm not mad at Katie. We all know Emily is lying. And I find it funny that Shannon is, standing here saying, oh, the kids are off limits, when it kind of felt like the group was sort of going in on Katie's daughter, Shannon. So let's be consistent. Shannon says, our kids don't go on podcasts, but yours did. And Katie says, yeah, Kylie was telling her truth. She can do whatever she wants. Also, I was pissed when my custody was talked about at the reunion. That's something Emily brought up, and that's not apples to apples, which is so true. I remember that. I sort of forgot about that, but when she said it, it reminded me that Emily did bring that up, basically implying that Katie is an unfit mother. Shannon's like, I get it, but you need to talk to her. So next up is Gina. Good news for Gina. She no longer is in the casita. Now she has a casa. She got a new house. It's nice. It's much bigger. She's back with Travis. And, I will say, Gina looks good. I got to give it to her. She looks like she's in a good place. Emily comes over. I don't know what Emily has done to herself. She looks very different and not in a good way. Okay, so Gina has tea for Emily. The other day, Gina went to the beach with Shannon and Jen. Jen basically told them that Katie told Jen that when the nanny reached out to her, Katie told her what podcast to go on. And I was like, I don't know why Gina was pretending like this is some big secret. Katie admitted it herself in the last scene, Gina. So it's not this big explosive bombshell. Emily is now pulling the, oh, my kids' friends have Instagram and they know what's going on. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry. Gina seems to be super angry about this. She says Katie doesn't think that she did anything wrong. She shouldn't. Anyway, Gina is being Emily's lapdog, so she says that she's actually going to meet up with Katie and she wants Emily to go. Then we see Shannon. She's calling her daughter. One of them is in Europe for school. The other two are in New York. Seems like they're doing good. Then we see Fancy Pants, Holier Than Thou, Miss Persnippety, Heather Dubrow. So she and Terry are in this new Beverly Hills house that they bought and really needs to be renovated. But they're now up $8 million more than what they were initially supposed to spend. And these renovations are super behind. Like, by the time this is all built, it might take 3 years, which by then their youngest son is going to be already a senior in high school by then, so by the time they move in. So that's a problem that they have to try to solve. Like Terry says, like, let's just get rid of it, and yeah, so that's what they talk about. So we see another scene at Emily in her house. Her boys just got home from school. She's talking to them, trying to tell them what they want to eat. Shane then comes down, and when they leave the kitchen, Emily says that she's really worried about her son Luke, because not only is he's not just a picky eater, he just doesn't want to eat at all. She actually took Luke to a therapist, and they told her that he has a type of eating disorder where food disgusts him. That's really sad, because it's not like a situation where you have, like, let's say a teenager that doesn't want to eat because they want to be skinny or whatever the case may be. This is different. Like, his body just doesn't want to eat. Like, it rejects food. And Emily says that the worst part is when he's starving, because obviously he's going to be starving. He hasn't ate anything, but he doesn't want to eat what she's offering. Like, there's nothing he wants to eat. So that is really, really, really sad. I was like, damn. Shane says, he'll be fine. He just needs to overcome it. And hopefully, because he is only 10 years old, hopefully he will, because that's not good. All right. Then we see the Wicked Witch of the OC, Tamra Judge. She goes to a therapy session, and she, like, as soon as she walks into the door, she's crying. That's when I knew there was some BS going on. I was like, what is going on? But then they showed a flashback of her in the reunion where she did say she had started going to therapy. So I was like, oh, this is what that is. She told her she was going to therapy, so she's got to keep up this little pretending. So she says a lot has happened. Her divorce that happened like 20 years ago. She says that she misspoke on her podcast when she said she was on the autism spectrum. Which, by the way, I do remember her saying that. That was a big whole thing. But again, you guys, this whole scene felt like it was giving, I was so horrible last season and everyone called me out, so now I need to cry to make them feel bad. Girl, gone. We're not falling for that. No. Then we see my girl and my guy, Jen and Ryan. Good for Jen for coming back, because in OC, Orange County tends to be one of those housewife shows where they have so many one-season wonders, like one and done. So the fact that Jen's now going for her strong third season, is good. So her and Ryan are getting married, despite the haters. Ryan he's crazy. He's talking about, let's get married with you wearing a bikini. I mean, dang. Jen says that the kids are very excited about the wedding. Ideally, it will be in Cabo. Jen then talks about an invite list. She doesn't want to invite Tamra. Tamra has caused pain and havoc on their relationship. She said a whole lot of careless stuff. Jen is like, I was her friend. Like, how did I become a target? Ryan says, well, that's what jealousy does. And then Jen says what we've been knowing and what I've been thinking from the very beginning. Tamra wanted Ryan for her damn self. I mean, the fact that Tamra, when they first met Ryan, was going around referring to Ryan as hot gym guy, and one time when she texted Jen and said, or maybe a group chat, but she texted them saying, I'm at hot gym guy's house, should I go to his room and take one for the team? Yeah, hell yeah, she wanted Ryan. Jen says, well, she is trying to get therapy, but Ryan's like, that is all fake, just like her. Alright, moving along, Emily meets with her puppet master, Heather. Heather gives her a nice little gift with a monogram, Emily's monogram. Heather talks about her child Max, who's in Paris having a blast. Tamra then joins them as well. She's talking about therapy, blah, 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 blah. She then says that she met with Katie at The Quiet Woman. The Quiet Woman is that restaurant where Kelly Dodd said to Shannon, keep eating, keep eating. And Shannon says, this is my plate, you stupid effing bitch. That iconic episode. Anyway, Tamra's mad at Katie. Of course, this is like the gang up of the freaking season. So, according to Tamra, Katie had asked, why did you block me on Instagram? Tamra says that there was a content creator accusing her of running a troll account. Tamra then goes off on this person on Instagram and basically threatens to sue them. According to Tamra, Katie reaches out to this content creator to console her. Katie denies this. She says that the girl did call her and she did respond, but she said she didn't call her. It was the girl that called her. So yeah, this is just another thing for them to pile on. And Tamra, this is why I can't take this woman seriously. She then says, well, you know, maybe Katie reaches out to bloggers because she didn't get any love. Well, then what's your excuse, girl? Emily says, yeah, Katie always has explanations. Even Jen said it. And then Heather says, wait a minute, Jen, aren't they really good friends? Emily says, apparently not, because Jen even called her a con artist. I was like, well, that's not good. But I hate this narrative. I even saw Shannon doing an interview yesterday saying Katie seems to have a lot of explanations. Well, yeah, Shannon, she's going to have, Shannon, Katie, Emily, all you people, she is going to have a lot of explanations. If y'all are accusing her of doing every damn thing, y'all might have as well accused her of killing RFK, JFK, MLK. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're going to accuse me and I can't explain why things happen? Like, come on now. So it's a new day. Emily and Gina are on their way to go confront Katie. On her way there, though, Emily and Gina, they were riding together, and Emily does tell Gina that Luke might actually have autism, and that might be part of the reason why he doesn't want to eat. And it makes me feel bad to hear her say that, because that is sad. And it makes Gina feel bad as well, because Gina can relate, because remember, her daughter also had some issues, some sensory issues, I think they were. So then they get there, and here's the thing, y'all. Katie had agreed to meet with Gina. But Gina's showing up with Emily without telling her. So yeah, it's an ambush. So Gina comes in hot. She says to Katie, I lost a lot of trust in you for the things that you did and everything that happened last year. I also had a conversation with your best friend Jen, and Jen was even questioning your motives. She didn't think that things were adding up with you, and she even called you a con artist. Which this is news to Katie, because her and Jen talk like 10 times a day. Anyway, Katie says, I remember, Gina, at one point you said, we all talk about each other, so let's just move on. Gina then says, yeah, but you talk to bloggers, that's the difference. Katie says, are you referring to the whole Emily's ex-nanny thing? Yes, I should have ignored her, I get it, but I was pissed. So then here comes Emily. That's not an excuse, Katie. If you were pissed at me, then come at me. I don't give a ish if you were attacked at the reunion. Guess what? We've all been there. We've all been attacked, but I've never retaliated by bringing someone's kids into it, because I have boundaries and you don't. Leave my kids out of it. Do you understand? And then Katie says, I understand, Emily. Emily says, then why did you do it? Katie says, well, when someone's calling someone mean, but then you come at me for my custody details, that's not even, Emily. Like, let's not try excuse, like pretend like it is. But you guys, Emily's excuse was, well, at least I did it to your face. What? But Gina, she tried to be just a mediator, just a little bit, and she does say, well, Emily can apologize for that. And she does. Katie then has to go. She hugs Gina. She tries to be courteous, so she's going to go in for a hug with Emily, but Emily's like, no, I'm good. She then stuffs donuts in her jacket. Emily, that is. It's the end of the day for Shannon's retreat at this nice place. She invited everyone, including Tamra. They haven't really talked. They sort of made up at the reunion. They hugged, but they haven't really talked ever since. Tamra's acting like a victim though going into this, and I was just like, oh, such an eye roll. Also, this place, the Golden Door, that's somewhere where the highest, most famous celebrities go to. So everyone begins to arrive. Tamra came in sad because at this point it's when Teddy had just announced that she had the cancer tumors. Also, coming into this, Emily, just like a psycho, did a list of all the lies, quote unquote lies, that Katie has supposedly said. And then Gina's like, yeah, did you invite her, Shannon? I don't trust her. Heather never liked her, and now Tamra is just mad at her. So Katie is really going into the lion's den. When everyone gets there, Shannon then divides the group into two. One group will do Tai Chi, which is like some hand movement exercise type of thing. Tamra, Heather, and Gina go do that. And then the other will do Tai Quo, which is like some drumming. Emily, Jen, and Katie and Shannon do that. So they do that. We get to see that. And after they're done, the groups are just talking, like each group. Tamra tells the girls that she's with, why is Jen mad at me? Because I said, how's the FBI going? She also complains on how much they go after her on social media, Ryan and Jen, that is. And they do. They definitely throw their shade, but it's not unreasonable. Then they all reconvene for lunch. They talk about what they just did. Emily says to Heather, it was good. I only felt like killing 2 people. Oh, okay. Seems like you have a thing for talking about killing people. I remember you said it to Kelly Dodd, too. Katie then invites them all to a lunch that she's going to be hosting. It's a hot pot. It's like an Asian traditional lunch. She says, I want us to get to know each other better. I feel like I haven't really been able to do that with y'all. You haven't really been able to do that with me. And I felt bad because she sounded so nervous saying it, but you could tell she was trying. Gina then says, I think we've tried to know you, but it seems like you want to hurt us. And then Heather says, yeah, you need to stop with the bloggers. Jen tries to defend Katie. Gina then comes at her and says, why are you defending her? You yourself said that you don't trust her either. Which, by the way, Katie did ask Jen about this supposed con artist statement. Jen isn't denying that she, completely that she said it. She just doesn't remember saying it at all. She says to Gina, yeah, but what Katie is doing isn't really hurting anyone, Gina. She's not hurting me and Ryan. She's not hurting you and Travis's relationship. But then Emily says, well, it is affecting me. I've had to hire an attorney to sue the nanny for defamation. I don't know what type of lawsuit that would be. I'm gonna sue my ex-nanny because she said my kids don't like a Heather Dubrow. That doesn't really sound like defamation. Shannon's like, well, I don't really like it when people are all, coming for one person. Heather then says, well, the thing is, we all agreed at the reunion not to reach out to bloggers or any social media people, but you broke that, Katie, by talking to that person that talked about Tamra. Katie says, that girl DM'd me. I never called her. I don't even know her name or her number. I don't even know how I would be able to call her. She called me. And yes, I did talk to her, but because she called me. And I'm trying to prove to Tamra that I didn't do this. I just haven't looked yet. Gina's like, look now. Whip out your phone. And Katie's like, well, I would like to, but look, there's no connection here. Look, she shows them all that she has no signal. And Gina's like just attacking her, saying, I would get my phone out if I wanted to prove it. I would get it out. And that was the end of the episode. Wow, this was a crazy premiere. Definitely lots to talk about. This is the Gang Up on Katie season. And like I said, by now, if you haven't, if it hasn't been clear, I'm not for it. Jen made a comment in her confessional that things don't add up with Katie sometimes, and it's not that she's like being malicious, it's just that sometimes she gets a little lost in translation. So for example, when she says, I didn't reach out to bloggers, she doesn't necessarily consider them bloggers because a lot of them she thinks are her friends or people that she knows. So I think that's the problem with her. Do I think she is maliciously like this psychotic mastermind that they're trying to paint her out to be, that's like out here working on her basement trying to destroy each and every one of them? Of course not, and that is ridiculous. That's why Gina needs to pipe it down, Emily needs to pipe it down, and Tamra, she's just a lost case. Get rid of Tamra and bring back Vicki. That's who I want to see. But you guys, please let me know what your thoughts were about this first episode. What are you gonna watch the season? What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to? Let me know, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.